guess we call it cardiac cars now, but it was great to see our football team come from down, and then we were able to put together that drive there at the end. But just look at us, just overall, we allowed them the first, right there at the beginning, opening drive, they would take the ball down the field, get 3, and then we were able to answer, and we would go up 14-3 at half. So at halftime, I told them, guys, we got to go out and play the second half. We had to go finish this game. But we gave up 2 jump balls there. But you watch our defense in that third quarter, that goal line stand was I don't think that since I've been here, I know it hasn't happened that we've had a goal line stand like that. But just to see our defense go out and just defend the goal line like that. And it was first and goal on, the inch line. And they got 5 downs, but luckily we jumped off sides on the touchdown that they scored. So we were able to go back out and stop them on the 4th down. And then to watch our offense take the ball with 3 minutes to go in the game, 2 timeouts to go. And we usually practice 2 minutes. And what I usually do at practice, I say it's a minute 35 to go. You have 1 timeout, you need a touchdown. But luckily we had 2 timeouts. Actually, we had 3 timeouts to go, and we had 3 minutes to go in the game. So we were able to take the ball down the field, and Teddy threw the ball to Eli. Each week a different receiver stands up. Last week it was Devontae Parker. This week is Eli. And then you watch the big throw Teddy makes to Copeland coming off the goal line, but we weren't able to convert any points. But each game is going to be like this, and I told our team, because you're in the conference race now, so you have to be competitive each week and make sure that we maintain our focus, because we can't go into the game thinking because the team is 2-4, they're not going to come and play as hard. And you watch it today, and it's a good lesson for us, because just watching the way South Florida, they came in here wanting to win this football game, and we were able to answer at the end.
Charlie, is it almost like you learn something new about Bridgewater every time he's put in a different situation, like with that 3-minute, that last drive?
Well, if you're just watching, and I know a lot of credit's going to go to Teddy, but we told our offensive line, if you don't protect our quarterback, then there's no way we're going to have a chance to go win this football game. And we were kind of beat up on the offensive line. My man Cup today was very effective. He started off at left guard, and then because of John Miller's injury, then I was able to take Jamon Brown and move him to left tackle and started Mack at right tackle, and Jake Smith, and then Jake get banged up right before halftime, and we had to take Cup and put him at right guard. So just to watch our offensive line protect him, and Teddy was able to hang in there and make some throws, but he also was able to use his feet today and get down the field, because what South Florida did, they were able to rush the guys up the field. So Teddy they opened up the lanes, and he was able to find the opening lane and run down the field. And he was very effective today with his feet.
What does it say about your football team? What did you learn about them in terms of their guts?
Well, what you learn about this team today is that it's so critical that we had to go finish, and how we just came together there. And even when they scored that last touchdown, our guys, you can just look at the sideline and just say, you know what, our offense has a chance, so let's watch our offense go move the football down the field, see we're going to go score. And then Teddy made the 2 big throws, and he got pressure, then he threw the check down to Jeremy Wright. Jeremy was able to get down the field and make a guy miss or 2. Then you just felt it then. And then the energy, and the stadium came alive, and it got so loud. Wow, it got loud today. There wasn't that many people left, but the ones that stayed, they got a chance to see a really exciting ending.
How big was Malden's sack and fumble at the end of that first half?
That was critical, because we were able to stop them, because they had a chance to kick a field goal, and it would have made it 14-6. But Malden, if you remember, he gets the first sack, and the quarterback has the ball back and tried to get him to bat the ball out of his hand. Then he tried to, but he ended up stripping it down, but he took it from him on that second sack. But our defensive line, we applied a lot of pressure. I want to say we ended up with 4 sacks today. So you look at 5 last week, you look at 4 now. So that's what happens with a team. You can go a span there, 3 or 4 games, you don't get a sack, then all of a sudden you start getting sack after sack after sack. But we have to play well up front on our defensive front. I feel like we did today. Didn't do a good job of stopping the run. They were able to get some runs on us just because of just gap control, guys overrunning the football, not taking care of their responsibility.
It looked like it was almost the same play that was ran a number of times by South Florida up the middle. Was that the gap control?
Well, what happened is when 5 was in there, he was able to hide, and they couldn't find him. And then all of a sudden, he would find an open gap and end up creasing us to the backside. But it was just a dive play. Sometimes we hit it, but we didn't hit it more than we needed to.
Charlie, what about that goal line stand that you're deep? I mean, they were on point blank, and you guys were able to keep them out of the end zone. How big was that?
That was really big, because you watch it. They take the ball down there, and they would have made it 20. They would have got 7 there, and would have made it 21-17. But just watch how our front just came off low. And whenever you get in a situation like that, you tell your defensive lineman to stay low, and then just let the guys, the linebackers, you run over the top and try to knock the ball back. The first one we felt like was going to be a quarterback sneak, which we got. Then even the next one, but then they tried to hand the ball off. And so it was so critical to just get the penetration, stay down low, get penetration, and just grab legs and making sure that the ball doesn't fall forward, make sure we knock it back.
Coach, how do you grade this game?
Wow. Well, an 8 for the win, but I'll be able to grade it more on tomorrow when I get a chance to really look at it. But you just like the way our team came back and how they fought. Even we've been down, and I would say this to you: last year we would not have won this football game. When they scored there at the end, there's no way we would have fought the way we fought and came back and won this football game. But just to watch now, they've grown up, they've matured some, and it's become really important to them where they feel like, hey, we have to go win, guys. It's important now, and winning is becoming very important.
So this time of year, you kind of get banged up. I mean, I think Dunn went down, the next guy stepped in. Butler, just talk about the injuries kind of mounting up a little bit.
Well, what's happening with the injuries? They're not serious because I start with our offensive line. You know, Jake goes in with his shoulder, comes back out at halftime. He's ready to go play. Now that we can get another couple of days of rest for Miller, he will be ready to go on Cincinnati. Don goes down, and he was able to come back and play, even B.J. Butler. So what happened, they make a big hit, and they were able to bounce back and come back. But that's just toughness, and I tell our teams all the time, that you have to fight through an injury. You'll be okay, you know, you get some rest on the next day. But as this game is going on, if you're feeling the energy and feeling the flow, we need you. So you need to bounce back and come on in.
What about Preston's play?
Preston Brown played well, and if you look at it, Preston's playing very well. It's been very consistent. Probably been one of our most consistent players on defense.
Was Terrell Floyd injured? It looks like he would out most of the game until that final drive he got in the game.
No, what we did was Stephon was playing so well, so we just were able to rotate the corners there, and then we put him in there at the end.
What about Eli? He has that drop on the final drive. Didn't yet, you know, he's able to come back and obviously get the game-winning touchdown. Huh?
Yeah, and like I said, each week it's a different receiver, and you look at Eli making that big catch, but then you look at the one that, like the check down to Jeremy Wright was a big throw, and then Eli makes a Teddy, the first throw was to Eli, and he able to make a guy miss and get the first down, and then it just, when we got that first down, then you just felt the energy then, and then the drives were coming, and then Teddy was able to scramble out there one, then we got the personal foul on their sideline, then we were able to move the ball down the field, so it's just like each week, just a different guy stepping up, making plays.
Charlie, I know you said something about your offensive line. They were the key to that last drive. Do you think number 5 kind of took this thing to a whole new level today?
Well, but 5 has to be protected, and guys have to make the catch, and then he makes the throws, which he does, and which he's very effective at doing. But you have to protect him. And if you can protect 5, and you look at the first half, I think he may have had one drop. But if he's protected, then he can make those throws, and he can find those open receivers.
What did South Florida do so well to take away the run?
Well, they loaded the line of scrimmage, and what they did is they two-gap. And a lot of times when you two-gap, you just stand there, and their guys are so big, and you watch them. You have to find gap schemes, and we're trying to find the gap schemes to move them. But anytime you two-gap, it's hard for you to rush the passers. That's why we're able to throw the football also.
You have 24 fewer plays on offense. You have the ball 5 minutes less. That normally is not a great prescription for success.
No, it isn't. It is. Well, you look at our offense. We just the rhythm in the start of the second half. You know, we take their drive. We just weren't able to just stay in sync. And then the last drive, we looked pretty good. But it's all about us also converting the third downs and keeping the ball and maintaining the drives.
When you guys were trailing 21-10 or you're leading 21-10 and had the ball, did you think there was a chance that you would need a game-winning drive in this one to be able to win this?
Well, I just don't ever look at it because, you know, it's a 60-minute game and guys got to continue to play, and it's all about finishing, and that's what's key for us. We have to go finish, and we did. We had the ball. We were up 21-10, had the ball, and hoping we can go down and just get a field goal, get a score because we've been so effective on offense, and we didn't get it done.
How about a short week now, coming in Friday night?
What we do is tomorrow we'll go to work, we'll go to practice on Sunday. So Monday we're usually off. We're going to have to practice on Monday. So we have a big contest next week with Cincinnati.
Have you seen Cincinnati?
That personal foul penalty, how was that explained? Did they say he grabbed what his head or something?
Well, they said that the wide receiver was in a vulnerable position, but I said to them, okay, the quarterback makes their throw. Now, usually when that happens, if a guy's on a crossing route and the guy comes off the hash and hits him, yes. But I said, number one, he has a blocker, and he defeats a block and he hits the guy. So I said, I don't know how that's a personal foul. He defeated a blocker and he hit him. I said, that's not his fault. And it's not like he came off the hash either and made a big hit where you say, oh, no, you should have never made that hit. But he defeats a blocker and he makes the hit. So the guy's like, well, you know, it's the same. I said, I'm agreeing with you. I want to make sure that we protect the players, but that can happen at any time. I said, okay, if he had to undercut him, would it have been okay? He's like, oh, yeah, he probably would have. So, okay.
How much is Teddy in a select group for the kind of poise he has for his age and his experience?
Well, he just continues to get better, and if you watch each game, he just continues to develop more, and he's so in that position there. He's just so comfortable, and that last drive he comes out, he says, hey, we'll be okay because we're going to take it down the field. We got to get us a score. We'll get us a score, coach. So all right, well here we go. Let's just protect the quarterback and we'll see what we got.
Have you seen that often?
Well, no, because I've been fortunate to be around Tim Tebow, so you got a guy that they're two totally different quarterbacks, but someone who can take the ball and want the ball in their hands at the end. Teddy, and that's what he wanted today. He wanted the ball in his hands.
Coach, now you can look ahead to Cincinnati. What are the key points of emphasis?
Well, I haven't really had a chance to watch them play, but what's critical for us, we have to be able to run the football, and that showed today. If we don't run the ball, we're not very effective on offense. And then when you do drop back, then you have to protect the passer, and you can't allow the sacks to come, which we didn't give up a sack today. But we have to be able to run the ball, and then on defense, we're going to have to play really good defense because I know their quarterback is a runner and a thrower, just like we just faced here. But it's going to be critical. You know what's great here is we're coming back home again, so if we're on the road, could we won this game? I don't know, but it'd been exciting to see if we could have.
One more question.
Back at the beginning of the season, did you look at the schedule and say, gee, I could be 7-0 at this point?
No, oh no. I was been a 7-0. No, at the beginning of the season, I never thought that we'd be 7-0 at this time. I just, you know what, it's because it's so hard to see because you look at it, you had a stretch there where you had 3 at home, then you go on the road to FIU, to Southern Miss, and then to Pittsburgh, and you say, okay, can we survive that stretch? And now you get a stretch now where you go South Florida, Cincinnati, Temple, and then you got to go on the road again. So it's really, you can look at those schedules and it's sometimes hard to figure out. But you know, with this football team, if it continues to develop and grow, then we'll just see just how far we can go.
Last one.
Coach, what do you remember about Eli's decision to change his mind and come follow Teddy up here? What happened? What was the decisive thing?
Well, what had happened was we had gotten Teddy and we got Jermaine Reed. They were both, Michael Lee and Corbin were already here. Then we go and get Teddy and Jermaine. So Eli and Teddy were so close with that group of guys, and we always felt like that if we could get Teddy, then we were going to be able to get Eli also. And it's good that it's worked out for us because, you know, when you look at all 3 of those guys, Eli, Jermaine, and Teddy, all 3 of them made plays today.
All right.
Okay, thanks.